Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to take a look at the contents of an envelope that I received the other week. To be honest, I've been having a bad week and it really made my day when I got this. So I received an envelope, unpacked the envelope, and in there was this pen case here. And it felt chock-a-block full of things. When I opened it up, I found it was full of these pens, 7 of them. And then also there was a couple of tubs here which have got nibs in it, and I was absolutely gobsmacked. So these were sent to me by a viewer. Not going to name names, but I very much appreciate it. Really do. I was absolutely gobsmacked. I'd been having a bad week, and when this was in the post, it really was such a pleasant surprise. So what I thought we'll do today is we're just going to take a quick look at each of these pens. So I'm going to fetch in a notepad of testing. The notepad of testing for today is by Ayush. This is 100 GSM paper. It's got a slight cream tone to it. It's got a nice texture as well. So the first pen was this. This is a Jinhao 100 in this glorious white colour. Very nice. When you open it up though, the nib is a goulet nib, and it's a goulet broad nib. Let's turn that around. This is a cartridge converter pen. Very nice pen. I've got a number of different Jinhao 100s. I really like the Jinhao 100 model, but with this nib, wow. So it's a Jinhao 100 Centennial with a goulet broad nib. It's a Yoho nib. Very nice nib. Feels really, really nice. The ink I've put in here is by Cult Pens, and it's Little Bob. Now there should be some sheen into this. Let's do a quick scribble and give that a little bit of time to dry off. Very nice. Very nice flow. Nice little bit of feedback to it. Really pleasant to write with this. And if what is it that someone does? It goes that way. I think it's Wasky Squirrel does his swatches like that. Quite interesting. Not sure if this would have dried enough. Can we see? Yeah, can you see there? Hopefully it's coming over on the camera. There's like a greeny sheen to it, greeny gold sheen. Hopefully it's coming through here. If not, what I'll do, I'll try coming back to this if I remember as we go through the video. So this is a Jinhao 100. I say absolutely gobsmacked. Next up, it's a pen I've had on my list for ages, just never pulled the trigger on it. It's a Majohn. This is the P136 piston filling pen. And you can see here there's little windows, which is where you can see the ink level. Lovely fit in the hand. Doesn't really post. It comes straight off, but you don't really need it. It's a lovely fit, nice width there in the section as well. So this is a Majohn. Majohn, helps if I spell it right. In fact, I've spelled it completely wrong. Majohn. I keep wanting to put that extra J in. I don't know why. P136. It's got a fine nib. And the ink I put in here is by Herbin. And it's Eclat de Saphir. I think next time I put an ink in here, I may use Diamine Oxford Blue, which is slightly darker. I think that darker colour ink might look better with the material. Very nice though, flows really well. The nib does feel stiff, but I do find that with a lot of Moonman pens. But yeah, it writes really nicely. Can we do one of these as well? So there's going up and down, side to side. Nice feedback on that as well, especially on this slight textured paper. Let's move the page up. Next up, we've got a HongDian pen. This is the HongDian 1841. It's in this glorious classic black colour here. This is a pen you could take anywhere really, isn't it? It's got classic looks, it feels nice, nice weight, nice fit in the hand, cartridge converter pen. You're not limited by ink either, you could put any ink colour in here that you want with it being black. It's got there the HongDian medium nib. So we've got HongDian 1841, the medium nib. The ink I've put in here is by Diamine, and it's soft mint. This is another ink colour. I don't use it often enough. I should use it more often because I love it. So it looks really nice with this black. You know, it goes really well. Loads of lines. Not a lot of line variation. We'll do another one of these. Oh, we're getting even bigger now. And then we go across. And down. And going across. Again, nice writing nib. Feels nice. A little bit of feedback. I love a bit of feedback in my pens. So that's the HongDian 1841. Now, I know I'm going through these fairly quick. There's 7 of them, and I don't want it to be an overly long video, but I want to give each pen enough time to talk about it. Next up, this is quite heavy. This is a Majohn, or Moonman, and this is the M1000. This gorgeous, I think it's like olive wood colour. It feels very heavy. There must be a fair amount of metal in this pen. Taking the cap off, nice wide section, really pleasant section. The whole pen, it's a nice length. It doesn't post, but that doesn't matter because it's a nice comfortable size. Taking off the cap. Now, I don't know if you can see there, we've got a bit of gold sheen. I'm risking it. I've put a sheen in ink in here. So I'm just going to agitate it a little bit to try and get that shimmer all the way through. It's a shimmer in ink though, not a sheen in ink. I don't know. I should be fired for getting things wrong like that. One of the things I do like is these little studs here in the wood. And on the cap, it forms a pattern. I think it's really nice. Nice little details, and that makes a lot of difference, doesn't it? So I've given that a good agitation. So we've got here a Majohn M1000. And this has got a medium nib. I don't know why, but it feels, I don't want to say it feels glassy smooth, but there's not as much feedback as I was getting from, say, the P136, which was the fine. So you do expect a bit more, but this feels fairly smooth. The ink in here is Organics Studio. I've got to check my spelling on this one. So it's cysteine, C-Y. S-T-E-I. Well, it may not be called cysteine, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. Please let me know if there's a different pronunciation. And it's brown shimmer. Let's see if we can scribble at a pool there and see if it gets any of that shimmer come through. Got nice and well over that. Again, it's a nice nib. Smoothish. Teeniest amount of feedback, and then we'll do our square. So we go up and down, side to side, and lines. That's quite nice. Let me just go back up to that little bob. That's had time to dry now, hopefully. Not sure if you can see it. Yeah, there's a definite green sheen to that. Hopefully that's going to be captured on camera. I can't see it on my preview, but quite often what I see on a preview isn't actually what is on the recorded video. So it looks quite nice. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. This one is a Sheaffer Prelude. Nice black classic looking pen. Love the white dot on there, the way it stands out. That pulls off. It's a cartridge converter. Doesn't take standard cartridges though. It's got a very specific Sheaffer. They call it a piston, but it's just a cartridge converter. So that's in there. That's now full of ink. I like that we've got these guides here. If you hold your pens high up, that's perfect. I hold mine down near the bottom, but they don't get in the way, so it's not a problem. So this is going to be interesting because the nib on this is a medium cursive nib. Now, I've never written with a cursive nib, so I'm interested to see how this goes. And I think this is a nib I'm going to be playing around with quite a bit to get used to. So this is a Sheaffer Prelude. Seeing that really interesting line variation coming through there. So the nib is actually made by Mr. Pen, and it's a medium cursive. The ink in here is by Robert Oster. And it's Cafe Crema. I'm going to be honest with you, this is one of my favourite brown inks. I absolutely love this. And in this pen, really interesting to see the line variation, isn't it? So let's just do this. There's going down, there's going across. So a little bit stubbish there, so we've got more going down than across. Let's do a square. So there's going up and down. That's filling that in really quick. Going across. So yeah, definitely need a lot more strokes there. Down and across. Quite nice. Really enjoyable. I love the feedback. I love the way it feels on the paper. Pen is a little bit on the short side. Does post. Seems to be posting quite nicely. Making it feel quite back heavy though, so I'm not sure if I'll use this posted or not. Again, I need to play around with that. But yeah, really nice. So this is the Sheaffer Prelude. Up next, we've got, just move the page up. This is a Mr. Pen pen, and it's called the Parsons Essential. Lovely black colour, love this patterning. Very nice. I can see the Parsons, so like a religious type name. I can see, yeah, it's nice and simple. Very nice looking. Comfortable pen, nice size on this. There's a converter. It's actually a Visconti converter in there. Let's close this up. Section a little bit on the thin side, but again, something I can get used to. Again, the nib is what makes this different. This is a medium oblique cursive nib. So it's another nib similar to the one in that Sheaffer that I'm going to need to really play around with. And that might be, you know, a video on its own right where I experiment with these and see what I feel about them and how I learn about them. So this is a Mr. Pen. See, this is what I'm saying about needing to learn the nib. So Mr. I'm going to turn it on its side. Pen. Yeah, it seems to be writing a little bit better with a slight angle to the nib. And it's the Parsons Essential. This feels very scratchy, not unpleasantly so. And it's a medium oblique cursive. Love the line variation that I'm getting from this already. I think I may need to have the pen angled slightly when I'm using this. The ink It's by Diamine. And it's violet. Another ink I don't use often enough. So on here, what I'm seeing is, do this again. So we've got fairly thin lines going down, and then a wider line going across. So the opposite than I was seeing with that medium cursive. Let's do that square again, just so we're being consistent. Yeah, quite enjoyable that. Really nice. Looking forward to using this one. I think, I say, between the two of them, I've got a lot of playing and learning to do, but I love doing that. The final pen, this is a Conklin All American. This is part of the Courage series. It's the Courage series in white. It's a numbered edition or limited edition. You can see it down there. Very nice pen, slightly translucent. Now, the gentleman in his letter did say you can see some staining here where it looks like this inner cap part isn't quite sealed, so you've got some ink leakage going on up there. You've got to really look for it though, so it doesn't really bother me. I do have another Conklin All American that I have often described as the worst pen I have ever owned. So it was bought, it was golden walnut, so it's a wooden pen. And it was just, I had so many different problems with it. It was just, I say, the worst pen I've ever owned. When I saw this in there, you know, I was absolutely gobsmacked, because this is going to let me now see, was the issue with the wood or was the issue with the pen? This one, it's an acrylic pen. So I think the actual issue was the wood. We'll see now, because this has been filled about 5 days and I haven't used it in 5 days. With the wooden one, it would not write if I'd have left it for 5 days. And I may do a video comparing the two, but not sure about that, because the wooden one, I've got it down into many different pieces at the moment, trying to get it to work. So we've got here a Conklin, and it writes straight off. Conklin All American. So immediately it's telling me that the issue with the other pen is not the model, it was the material, it was the wood. This has got a broad Conklin nib. There's the nib there. I love these black nibs. The ink in here is by Diatramentis. And it's a cherry. Gorgeous shading coming through on this. The nib, very nice. Lovely amount of feedback. Really pleasurable to use. I haven't used this pen in anger. All I've done is essentially similar to this, but on different paper. Let's do the grid. So up and down, side to side. Very nice, really enjoyable. And it wrote straight off after 5 days. Not sure if I showed you. This one is another one. That's a cartridge converter. There's a cartridge. Looks like there may have been a little bit of ink leakage. Just been and grabbed my kitchen roll, so got a little bit of ink there. Not sure if that was from when I'd filled it. Let me just look. Yeah, we've got a bit of ink there as well. Not sure if it can be seen on camera. Let me just see if I can clean that out a little bit. Thought we'll do it on camera, then we can all see together. So I've just inserted the end in. I've just twisted. You can see there, a fair bit of ink that was in there. So hopefully that won't happen again. Maybe that was from when I filled it. It looks fairly wet, doesn't it? Looking forward to spending more time with this. As I say, I may do a video comparing this against the other All American, because certainly what we've just seen in this little bit of a test, the issue with the other one is the material, not the pen. And then, as I said, there are also these two with some nibs in there. I'm not going to take these out, but in there were 3 Goulet nibs, and also there was an Italics, which I believe is a Mr. Pen nib, and that's a medium oblique cursive nib. So looking forward to getting these onto some of my other pens. So this was this pen gift that I received. I say I was absolutely gobsmacked. So these were the gifted pens in September of 2023. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I know I tried to keep it quick, but I go on and on and on. Absolutely gobsmacked by this. Are you able to suggest some ways that I try writing with these two cursive nibs? Really be interested. Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.